December 2024, Honda and Nissan announce merger talks. Two of Japan's biggest automakers joining forces. The headlines write themselves: consolidation, survival, the brutal economics of the EV transition. But that's not the real story, because while everyone's analyzing the merger, Honda's CEO is saying something else entirely. Something about a complete revolution that will shake the entire EV world. Not an electric car, not a hybrid. Something different. Here's what makes this strange. Honda isn't some desperate underdog scrambling to catch up. They're the 7th largest automaker on the planet. They sell over 4 million cars a year. The Accord is legendary. Their engines power everything from motorcycles to Formula One cars. They make more engines than anyone else in the world. So why would a company this successful, this embedded in the old world of combustion, suddenly claim they're about to flip the electric vehicle market upside down? And why would they do it with technology that isn't electric at all? To understand what Honda's doing now, you need to go back to 1906, a blacksmith shop in rural Japan. A kid named Soichiro Honda, covered in grease, obsessed with machines, no fancy education, no family money, just tools, speed, and a belief that he could build something the world hadn't seen. His first business, piston rings, tiny engine parts nobody thinks about. Unglamorous work. He supplied, Toyota, scraped by, kept tinkering. Then World War II happened. His factory got bombed. Everything gone. Most people would have quit. Soichiro didn't. Post-war Japan, the country's in ruins. Gasoline is scarce. People need cheap transportation, and they need it now. Soichiro takes old military generator engines, leftover junk from the war, and bolts them onto bicycles. It's crude, it's ugly, but it works. 2 years later, he launches the Honda Motor Company. From that Frankenbike, Honda explodes. Their motorcycles start winning races, breaking records, proving Japan can build machines as tough as anything from the West. Then come the cars, reliable, fast, engineered with obsessive precision. The scrappy blacksmith's son becomes a global icon. But here's the thing about Honda's DNA. They've never been followers. Soichiro didn't copy, he built. And when the world said something couldn't be done, he took that as a challenge. Which brings us back to now, because Honda's doing it again, while everyone else zigs there, Z-A-G-G-I-N-G. And this time, the stakes are existential. Somewhere around 2015, the world made a decision. The future of cars would be electric, not might be. Would be. Tesla proved it could be cool. Governments started offering tax breaks, rebates, billions in subsidies. California, Norway, the UK's, they all set deadlines. 2030, 2035, 2040. Pick your year. But the message was clear. Combustion engines are dead. Charging stations sprouted up. Battery tech improved. Range anxiety became a punchline. EVs went from nerdy experiment to cultural inevitability. Every automaker got the memo. Ford went all in. Hyundai, Volkswagen, GM, everyone's building electric, because if you're not, you're finished. And on paper, it makes sense. Zero emissions while driving. Instant torque. Quiet. No more oil changes. Plug in at home, wake up with a full tank. The EV revolution wasn't just happening. It had already won. Except nobody talks about what happens to all those batteries when they die. Or where the lithium and cobalt come from, strip mined from places most people will never see. Leaving landscapes that look like the surface of Mars. Nobody mentions that charging still takes time, sometimes hours. And that range anxiety isn't actually gone, it's just rebranded as charging infrastructure gaps. Or that electricity isn't free. And if everyone plugs in at once, the grid starts sweating. Rolling blackouts. Surge pricing. Utilities already telling people not to charge during peak hours. The EV dream is real, but it's not perfect. And Honda noticed, here's the twist. Honda already tried to beat the EV wave. Not with electric. With hydrogen. Tokyo Motor Show. Honda unveils the Clarity fuel cell. Japan's first hydrogen car you could actually buy, and it was brilliant. Hydrogen fuel cells in the front, generating electricity on the go. Tanks that refilled in 5 minutes, 360-mile range, better than most EVs at the time. Zero emissions, just water vapor coming up the tailpipe. It was faster to refuel than electric, cleaner than gasoline. It didn't need rare earth metals. It didn't stress the grid. On paper, the clarity was everything the EV wanted to be, but nobody bought it. Why? Because there was nowhere to fill it up. Unless you lived in California or a handful of spots in Japan, hydrogen stations didn't exist. Road trips were impossible. The tech was perfect. The infrastructure WASN single quotes T. Meanwhile, Tesla was everywhere. Superchargers multiplied. Celebrities drove Model S's. Governments dumped money into EV incentives. Electric got cool. Hydrogen got forgotten. Honda kills the clarity. The car worked. The world just wasn't ready. Most companies would have taken that as a sign. Pivot to electric. Follow the money. Play it safe. Honda didn't. Honda announces something new. Not a concept. A production vehicle. The CR-V FCEV, a hydrogen-powered SUV. But this time, it's different. First, they partnered with General Motors. Honda's engine expertise, GM's fuel cell tech. Together, they built something smaller, more efficient, more powerful than the Clarity ever was. Second, they didn't reinvent the wheel. The CR-V is Honda's best-selling SUV. Familiar, trusted. They didn't make hydrogen look weird. They made it look normal. Third, and this is the part that changes. Everything the infrastructure is finally arriving. California's building more hydrogen stations. Japan's going all-in as part of their national energy strategy. Germany's fueling trucks with it. China's pouring billions into hydrogen buses and taxis. The thing that killed the Clarity in 2015, it's being solved. Right now, just as Honda comes back, the CR-V hydrogen SUV refuels in 3 to 5 minutes, goes nearly 400 miles, emits nothing but water. And here's the kicker. It can power your house during a blackout. It's a car and a generator. No battery degradation. No rare earth mining. No waiting at chargers. Honda didn't abandon hydrogen. They waited for the world to catch up, and now it has. So here's where we are. The entire auto industry sprinted toward electric. Governments mandated it. Trillions of dollars poured in. The EV future seemed inevitable, but Honda looked at the same problem and saw a different answer. Not because they're stubborn, because they saw the cracks, the grid stress, the battery waste, the mining damage, the charging delays. They saw that EVs are great for some things, but not everything. And they bet that hydrogen could fill the gaps. Long-haul trucks, buses, remote areas where grids are weak, places where batteries just don't make sense. But here's the question nobody's answering yet. What if Honda's right? What if the EV revolution isn't the final chapter? It's just the loudest one. What if the scrappy blacksmith's son who built motorcycles from war scraps saw something everyone else missed? Honda failed once with hydrogen. The Clarity was a prophet without a temple. But prophets are only wrong until they're right. The CR-V is rolling out now. Hydrogen stations are spreading. The infrastructure that killed the dream in 2015 is arriving in 2024, and Honda's not alone anymore. Toyota, Hyundai, BMW, they're all testing hydrogen, quietly, carefully. Which leaves one question, is Honda early to the real future? Or are they about to repeat the same mistake, just with better marketing? Because if they're right, the entire EV conversation just became a lot more complicated. And if they're wrong, well, at least they stayed true to Soichiro's rule. Never follow. Build. Japanese automakers Honda and Nissan have announced plans to join forces. Honda and Nissan announced on Monday that they have formally agreed to hold talks on a possible merger. Today, the world is moving rapidly towards EV, and this is believed to be the future. But on the other hand, Honda is doing something big behind the scenes, which even China and Elon Musk are not aware of. Honda has created an engine that will shake the entire car market. While everyone is running after electric cars, Honda is making a big change, creating a beast that can perhaps change the game forever. Their CEO says that this is a complete revolution, which will shake the entire EV world. What if Honda creates an engine that does not need petrol, does not need to be charged, and is even better than electric cars? It sounds great, right? Be patient. This could be the amazing twist that will completely change the future of cars. As we move forward, subscribe to the channel so that you are the first to get information about technology. Before we dive into how Honda flipped the electric vehicle EV world upside down, let's rewind a bit and meet the guy who started it all, Soichiro Honda. Forget fancy suits or corner offices. Soichiro was a hands-on dreamer, always covered in grease and tinkering with machines. Born in 1906, his dad was a blacksmith, so he grew up surrounded by tools, fixing bikes and playing with engines. Speed was his thing, and he had this wild belief that he could create something awesome. He didn't kick things off with flashy cars or motorcycles, though nope. His first gig was making piston rings, those little engine parts you'd barely notice. In 1937, he started a small company called Tokaiki. It wasn't a glamorous life, and things got rough. World War II hit, his factory got bombed, and he had to rebuild from scratch. But here's the cool part. So didn't quit. After the war, Japan was a mess. Gas was hard to come by, and people just needed a cheap way to zip around.